Welcome to CATtheMinion YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. This is a reading for November. I'm going to be doing a little bit for all of the Zodiac signs. I've been really busy and ill, but mostly just busy and burnt out, so I didn't do new readings for October, but a lot of the September readings had not only to do with equinox, but also stuff going on at Halloween. In general, these readings are monthly, but I've got way too much going on. And since I'm my only employee and I have to do all of the things, I'm having to focus on the things instead of tarot readings for free on YouTube. That's not a dig at the people who watch these. It's I can't afford to make the time for something that I'm not getting paid for. I mean, not really getting paid for anything, but the idea is I have to focus on other aspects of my business that I can't ignore. Like tidying up my YouTube playlists, switching platforms for art prints, updating advertisements. What else have I been doing? I had to do a whole nother stack of... This is only half of it because I went through a lot of it already. It's about half of it. The drawings that I pulled out of my filing bin and all kinds of stuff. I did a video a few weeks ago about all the stuff I've been doing. Now, I did shuffle these cards already, having a little bit of a problem because I had a hole in my thumb. It's, you can see that's still a little mangled. It's really tender in the middle. It's healing. I cover your ears if you're squeamish, but I ripped about a dime-sized hole in my skin, just from the friction from holding the screwdriver and turning it really tightly, try to get a piece of furniture put together for somebody else. So it wasn't like all of the skin layers, it was like half of them, but it was roughly dime-sized, and it's been, I think, a week and a half. And I was gonna have a band-aid on it, but I didn't have any more band-aids in my area, and I did not want to go into the less quiet area to get them. So I'm finding that it actually really hurts to shuffle these how I normally do. But I did clear and shuffle them. I'm trying to just pick it up with the edge of my thumb and not the middle bit, where like the most functional part of my thumb is that's been injured. I got some new nail polish. I've never had like real all the way black, and I just brought this over here because I felt like I needed it. Anyway, this nail polish matches my ring, so I thought that was pretty sweet. I'm a little bit late doing this video. I thought about it all day, but I had to do some in real life stuff, and then I had to recover for several hours. I actually have a fever right now, but I've been itching to do tarot for a couple days. So this is regarding the 11/11 portal, 11/11/22, very auspicious. But you know, if you get the information about what's coming out of that day, like a day later than it started, it's, you know, it's going to be happening for a while. So I've got the Thoth deck. Mine's trimmed. Usually it's got a yellow border. It's still pretty big, though. Oh, thank God. I got these a couple years ago, and the smell is finally going away. Perfume. I've got my Morgan Greer deck, which I've also modified. I've got my Kaleidos Nebula playing card deck. And, oh, come on, man. Give me a break here. And I've got the my phrase deck that I made. Paraphrasing from random literature that I had hanging around. So what I want to do is I want to get 11 cards. I was going to get just the Thoth deck, but what I want to do... How was I going to do this? Okay, I remember now. I'm going to get 11 cards from the Thoth deck, and we're going to do a spread, and then I'll get a little bit for each sign afterwards. So what am I going to do? I think because I have a thumb injury, I'm going to just do some piles here and grab some cards. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right? Oh, no. 11. It reminds me of that Sesame Street thing, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But we're not doing 12. I have in my mind that I want to do for December the 13th seat clock calendar readings for each sign. Looking forward to 2023, but I don't want to commit to it because once I start, I'm going to have to do all of them, and the readings are actually kind of long, so we'll see. If I'm able to, I will. I've got a month and a half, and if I start recording them soon, then maybe I'll get them all done. I really want to finish my Oracle deck. I'm only half done, and we'll see. I'm just overwhelmed with work for my business. I'm trying to test out a few different print sites, and it's kind of overwhelming to be in the noob stage. I've got a sale running on Etsy right now. I think it's through Black Friday. I have a bunch of stuff in a little on sale section. Get 15% off. I also added some one of those new sites that I wanted to use to do what's it called? Prints for fine art prints, because DeviantArt doesn't have them anymore. One of them, Printly, you can make merchandise and prints, but you have to post it to an existing site. So I posted it to my Etsy, so now I have, where's my logo? Do I have something with my logo on it? I don't know. I have? Probably not. Oh, I do have. So I've got holographic foil stickers with my logo on it now. I need to get some when I have some money. That's my problem, is I can't even afford my own merch right now. I'm meaning to add some other stuff. I added a few prints to Fine Art America, but I've heard some questionable things about that website, but whatever. I'm trying. I have it posted around. I'm going to try Redbubble too. I put a mug on Threadless. Alright. You know, it's chaos right now. Basically, I've had a tower moment, and I'm trying to do 4 jobs at once and in real life stuff, and it's a bit much. I'm not trying not to sound too complaining, but it's kind of hard right now. I don't know if anyone can relate to that, or if it's going to be relevant to the reading. I try not to put my own, stuff in the reading too much. So let's see what these 11 cards are for the 11/11 portal. I don't like the way this grid looks. I want it to be symmetrical. But that's the thing, 11 is a non-symmetrical number. No, nonagon is 9. What's an 11 polygon? Like an owns? I don't know. Would be like unideca? I don't know, something. Let's see what we have here for cards. Let's see if this is gonna be in focus. No. That's probably about as good as it's gonna get. So we have the Prince of Cups inverted. This is where you'd normally see a knight in this deck. Okay, Prince of Cups inverted. What's my energy? I like my brain fried and like ADHD burnout or whatever, and I don't remember how to do anything. Like, I couldn't remember how to do videos. I couldn't remember, you know, stuff I did like 2 weeks ago, and I am like, how do I do this? What am I doing? Prince of Cups. Which is the Knight. So we have Fire of Water, Pisces, no, Aquarius and Pisces inverted. It's making me think of like the Star card inverted. Or like shredded. Queen of Discs, the Queen of Pentacles. Very much sitting on the Capricorn energy in that one. Queen of Pentacles, Sagittarius, and Capricorn. So she's a little fiery. Camel. Princess of Cups. Why is it so strong? Princess of Cups. So that's the page. She's got a turtle. It's a hero and a half shell. Turtle power. Okay. This is... I was gonna say, this looks like twins. But the 11 is sort of a twin. It's a mirror. We have... It's like... The Queen of Pentacles has 2 children. She has the girl and the boy. Archetypally, right? It doesn't matter what gender you actually have. You can sit in these energies. It's this is maiden energy. This would be like youth energy. And there's different qualities to it. It's like I don't feel like describing it right now. It's not worth it. There's differences in the archetypes into like what it stands for in the behavior pattern. It's weird that the masculine energy is inverted. You know what this is like in the monarchy. Usually it's the oldest son who becomes the king after the king dies. But the daughter is older than the son. So we're going to say, even though the son is alive and we have a male heir, she's the oldest. She's the one who gets to rule first. She's like the first in the line of succession. Which is a little bit kind of an unusual tone for that to take. So over here we have science. Science, bitches. Get in, losers, we're going sciencing. This makes me think of origami cranes. It's not exactly the right shape, but the way that it's drawn as a spiral gives it that movement idea. Mercury in Aquarius. The Six of Swords. Usually this is like sailing away from the bullshit, or the universe guiding you to your next place where you need to be. This does have this sort of centering effect, like we're drawing into the middle, like you're getting warmer. It has a different connotation when it's inverted. When it's inverted, it tells me I need to go deeper. Here, it's not that there's a deeper issue necessarily, it's that something's becoming clearer, right? It's like I've drifted closer to the answer. Eureka, I've got it. Okay, so we have the Ten of Wands here, which is oppression. Is that... I can't even tell where that's supposed to be. I guess about here. There's a lot of glare. We got the skis holding the door shut here. But notice that we have the two spears or whatever they are in the middle, giving that 11 number. 11, 11, 11, Fosse, Fosse, Fosse. These are all very mirrored, right? We have 1, 1, and then we have like a bunch of ones opposing each other. And even this, we have, you know, come on. Three sets of opposing ones, creating the hexagonal form. It's giving me cat's cradle, but make it fashion. Happiness is a warm gun. Happiness, it can warm, yes it is. The Beatles. God. So 9 of Cups inverted. No happiness. We all hope you have happiness all your life. My cups are empty. I'm running on empty. What's that? Who sings that? Is that Steve Miller? I think that song was in Forrest Gump. It's running on empty. What is this? Wait. Jupiter in Pisces. If I'm reading that right. Let me check. 9 of Cups. Yeah, that's Jupiter in Pisces. I was singing the Weird Al lyrics in my head to that anyway. My Bologna. Yeah, this is like dried out. It's also like depression and sadness. If you have a Cups card inverted, it can mean this, like, it can be sort of opposing with swords. So if I have... Oh, 96 tears. A 10... That would make sense because it's multiplying, right? 90 and then 6 with the times. Where was I going with that? Hold on. 96 tears. Oh yeah. 9 of Swords is anxiety and depression and nightmares, and when you see a cup inverted, it would say the opposite of what... God damn it. The cup inverted becomes like the swords upright. So the happiness would become the anxiety, depression, fear, nightmares. If this card was upright, it would be like the 9 of Swords invert, which would then be like release and calm and happy and stuff like that. But this is like my cups are all being dumped out at once. Somebody knocked over my sandcastle. I can't remember any of the other lyrics to 96 Tears right now. I just remember like hearing at some point that they weren't allowed to say 69 Tears because they would have gotten in trouble in the 60s for releasing it with that. So we have power. Give it all I got, Captain. I don't have the power. Sun in Capricorn, 4 of Pentacles, or 4 of Discs here with power. So we have this power plant running on water. Again, it's inverted, so it's that running on empty. We're doubling down on that concept. 4 times 9 is 36. 24. 40. This is like, I don't have the right light bulb for this socket. And it keeps burning out, or it won't light up. I have the wrong wattage. Okay. What do we got here? Oh, the wild card. Okay, this is an extra card in this deck. And it's 2 interlocking tetrahedrons, which you would normally see as in this, like, something like the Star of David, or if you're looking at it in 3-dimensional form, it's the Merkaba. Here, it's not drawn with the lines going across, it's going the lines that are going into the 3rd dimension, so it takes on a slightly different configuration here. And then we have the rainbow for all the chakras, and I usually see this little 5-pointed, 5-petaled flower in the middle as representing that pentagonal symmetry that we have as, you know, mammals on this planet in general. Have this pentagonal. Is it symmetry? We have bilateral symmetry, but I mean we're 5-limbed creatures in general. Whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. But also we have, if I have 5 here and I have 6 points, that's 11. There's a universal pinpoint, like universal timing. Sometimes I see this differently, but right now I see this as representing universal timing with the idea of 11. That's 13, and that's 16. That's like death in a tower. This is 13 again. And these are each... No, she's 11 and he's 12. But he's inverted 12. And also usually when I see a knight inverted, it tells me Hanged Man energy, which is Piscean energy. Water. I'm stuck. I'm not moving. There's no upward movement. This is also like a little bit like some goody two-shoes got my promotion. Like, how am I gonna move up in this company? A little bit that. A little bit sibling rivalry. A little bit like nepotism, or like some sort of extra business favor. And I'm not trying to indicate that like feminines are gonna sleep their way to the highest position in a company. There's other ways that people can use their influence to get things. It doesn't always have to be that kind of a thing. You know, it's sort of and it's not to say like, oh, the man should always be the one in charge, because that's not necessarily it either. It's like, how can I finish this reading without sounding like I should be cancelled? It's making me think of the movie Disclosure, which is actually a Michael Crichton book before the Demi Moore and Michael Douglas. Wait, no. What the hell? Yeah, Michael Douglas. I just confused myself because Michael Keaton's real name is Michael Douglas, too. But he couldn't use it as his acting name because Michael Douglas already was using it. And I was like, wait a minute, I have the right guy in my mind. Why does his name sound weird? Anyway, Disclosure. TLDR, Demi Moore's character sabotaged Michael Douglas's character to make him like lose face in the company so that she could get some key high position. And not only was she like sabotaging him in terms of like meeting times and stuff like that, but she sexually assaulted him. And you know, in the end, they're like, oh, well, we tried to pick the best woman for the job, but we should have picked the best person. And it turned out that the best person was an older woman. So it's not, that's not, you know, it's not necessarily like the femme fatale or the she's a slut trope that we're looking at here. We're looking at something a little bit more nuanced and complex. We're looking at like sabotage and favoritism. And it's also again, like I said, it's also true that just because it's princess energy doesn't mean it has to be a woman in real life, in the meat space, right? Because this Queen of Discs could be a man, it could be somebody who's agendered, it doesn't really matter. And likewise with this Prince energy, we're looking at these sort of energy archetypes, right? Sort of this is a more, a knight energy is someone who sort of approaches problems like aggressively, not necessarily like they're coming to fight, but they're going to march up to it at a quick trot and, you know, lay out a battle plan, like a flow chart. And this energy is more, it's more like skipping through the forest, seeing what's going on, kind of an energy for that maiden energy. It's more exploratory and it's not necessarily like whimsical, because exploration could include science. You know, like I have a hypothesis, let me skip over here and see what my test tubes are doing. And like, oh, I just exploded my lab and like, whoops, I caused a power outage. I don't know if that's making any sense yet. It's kind of a weird reading. It's like they have what I want. They took what I'm supposed to have. There's a little bit of jealousy here too. But it's also, again, this idea of being passed over for, you know, the like money, resources, position, for someone who isn't necessarily, it's like someone who's not as capable but is more popular. Let's put it that way. Someone who looks nicer on paper or on film and in the studio. So we have Three of Wands inverted, Virtue. This looks like a cross between this card. Actually looks like a cross between these three cards. Because I have this six-pointed situation, but then I have some other stuff going on here, making a bunch more points looking like that. With it inverted, it actually looks kind of like these cups, but then I have this orange sort of grid-like structure here. Right? It's like I'm looking into the middle of a light bulb. But why shouldn't I? Because I have the sun in Aries. But it's inverted. Again, it's like, this is like a nuclear meltdown here. But in general, it's like I can't see what's coming. Right? Because usually the Three of Wands is I'm looking out on the horizon because my ships are coming in. This is like, I can't see a goddamn thing. 3 times 4 is 12, but I don't have a 12 here yet. I'm sort of missing a 12. I have 6. It's trying to roll upwards. 3, 4, I'm missing a 5 so far. I have 6. I'm missing a 7 and 8, and then I have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this is technically a 12, and this is 12. So this is sort of answering this Prince of Cups. But I also see this as the root problem of the unhappiness. Is the, like, I can't see my hand in front of my face, and it's making me really depressed. Because 3 is the root of 9. I also have been seeing that this 9 inverted is related to this 6 here. But, I mean, this is all in the same row, and it's sort of a story going on here anyway. I mean, I see this 3, 6, 9 progression, which is also relevant to this card. It's a pattern of energy flow in the universe. It takes on that 3, 6, 9 pattern, and it's something that Nikola Tesla was talking about, and I think, I'm not entirely certain, but I think I may have touched on it in my Nikola Tesla entity channeling. So that might be relevant to what's going on here. I don't remember what was in that, so I'd have to watch it back to find out. I should link it. I know I'm not going, I'm like, yeah, let me link it down below, and then not actually do it. I'll have to link that particular video in the description under, like, there's some crap at the beginning, and then it says this video, and I'll have a little description. So add Tesla entity channeling link. Yeah, let me dot the L, because that makes fucking sense. To 11 video. Technically, this should be an energy report, but I really want it to be... I'll have to make it an energy report, too. Because some of the horoscope things are already an energy report anyway. So... it's weird how this is talking very much about energy. I mean, I did say I'm very burnt out, and I'm sure a lot of other people are too. It's been a long couple of years. People are still sick. The soup and cold medicine and ice cream has been really, really bare on the shelves lately. Alright, so now we have the Prince of Discs. Also inverted. I just heard, like, he's a tool. So this is the Knight of Pentacles that goes with that suit. It's like, I'm emotionally cock-blocked, and I'm having trouble manifesting, too. Like, this idea of, if this is the Hangman, that means I can't see what's going on. I'm waiting for a download. You know, where's the shit that I ordered on Prime? Why isn't it here yet? They sent me the wrong thing, and it hasn't come in yet, and it's making me mad. I don't like it. This is like, where's my shit? And I can't see it, and I'm depressed, and I'm tired. It's like I've been trying to fine-tune to, like, home in on what it is I'm supposed to be doing. There's been a lot more error in this trial and error. Help, help, I'm being repressed. Like, stop giving them stuff, you're hurting me. And then we have the Queen of Wands. Just a little bit like I'm super pissed off, and I'm like, flames on the side of my face, because I hated her so much. That's what that reminds me of. It's a little bit of Madeline Kahn from the movie Clue there. One of the best memes ever. Yeah, I mean, Queen of Wands in the upright is usually pretty stable. You know, I have a handle on my fire. I know who I am. I'm self-confidence. I have a pet kitty. It's like, this is how I feel like who I am, but I am not being allowed to be myself. And I can hear in the back of my head people talking about, oh, the Queen of Wands is the slutty one. That's the karmic partner. That's not really fair to the Queen of Wands. That's, you know, like slut-shaming people who get ahead in business because you think that's literally the only way they would get that job. In some cases, that's true. But just because it happens, you know, in like 2% of the time doesn't mean that is the reality of how people get upper management jobs. Whether that's in a relationship or not. I feel like that's kind of blurry as to after lifting them up. So let me try to. Okay. It's kind of in there. Let me look at the Queen of Wands. I think is she Cancer and Leo? She might be. Oh, that's the King. The Queen of Wands is Pisces and Aries. That's an interesting combination. Oh, because they're right next to each other on the Zodiac. Well, so is Sagittarius and Capricorn. I mean, I have fire here with two queens. And the queens are also forming this mirrored pair, right, with the 11-11. Now I have 13 and 13. And 13 is also death. But that's because the queens sit on 13 because it's the birth and death cycle, the womb and the tomb dichotomy, which I did talk about in my what was it? Triangular something energy report. I just did it a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I was talking about the womb tomb thing. I didn't invent that either. I got that from, I think I got that from Freddie Silva from watching his stuff. Smart guy, that guy. I need water because I'm gonna hurl if I don't. I got one of these things. It's like off-brand Dramamine, and it does not taste as good. And it's got a weird texture, too. Ah, it tastes like the dust in the bottom of a drawer. Ugh. Okay. I mean, I think I have a pretty good storyline going here. Ten of Wands is like I'm overloaded, which we see if we have an electrical circuit here. It's like, it's very much burnout and frustration. It's like I'm not hitting the pattern. And some of that too is there's 6 hexagons here on the thing, on the dress. It's like stuff that you think you want isn't always what you need the most for your life purpose, especially if we have this 6 of Swords energy. It says science. It's usually a dude on a boat. Maybe I can find it in this deck, since it's the only other like real tarot deck that I have. I'm gonna try to find it without hurting my thumb. 6 of... There he is. 6 of goddamn swords. Oh. It would help if I remembered what it looked like in this deck. The popcorn card. Come on. It's almost always the last one that I find when I'm looking for something in a deck that I want to show people. Nope. Oh, there it is. I'm like, how are they going to fit it on these skinny cards? Oh, come on, thumb heel. Oh, inverted pentacles can be wounding. But if you're sick and burnt out, like I am, although, I mean, I do have a lot of earth energy, so it would explain why it's slapping me in the face so hard. This is a more typical 6 of Swords. As, was that? I focused it to the table, so this is actually pretty good. And this is the one in the Thoth deck. So typically it's sailing away, literally sailing away from the bullshit. It's like, toodaloo, motherfucker. And then it's like drowning. So one of the other meanings that I got for it was like a download that I got after I was sort of meditating on this card. Let's just put it that way. It's sort of like row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. But you sort of let it drift, and then the universe kind of takes you to the next dock where you get off. This card here, it's a little bit like letting the universe drift you to where you want to be. You know, it's like, but I want to be here. Like, why isn't it happening here? And it can, like, cause this sort of, spontaneous combustion where you're just, like, on fire, and I'm angry, and I hate everything, and I'm depressed, and this is bullshit. But it's hard to sort of let go of the control and say, and let the experiment you're running finish. Right? I mean, if you're running a study, if you're pouring chemicals together, you don't just, like, stop halfway through pouring the shit into the beaker, or the... What are those cylinders with the little... a graduated cylinder. Duh. Yeah, so if you're... Like, you're supposed to fill the graduated cylinder all the way up with the different solutions, but you're like, whatever, and then just, like, fill it halfway, and then, like, why isn't anything happening? It's because you have to, like, let the experiment be completed. But it's something that's happening sort of automatically, but it can be hard to give up control. So that's the basis for what this 11/11 portal is dealing with. This Queen of Wands represents like a self-confidence, sort of vibing with your life purpose. Like you're falling into who you intended to be. It's coming in with this sort of intuiting it. Because if it was the King of Wands, it would be like I figured it out. This is more like I'm falling in. I'm drifting into who I am. You know, via radio signal. Right, the universe is like, and I'm like, hello? Oh. Okay. that sounds like me. So that's how it's coming in. This is the feminine energy that's coming in these upright cards. It's you know, this one, the Capricorn one, has the horns. The messages are coming in. And the Princess of Cups has a swan on her head because both of the lobes of her brain are open here. But these masculine energies are in Hanged Man. I haven't gotten a message yet. Like, the hell's taking so long? Been working my ass off. Right? I've been burning the candle at both ends. It's like, Scotty, I need more power. It's like, I'm giving her all I got, Captain. You know, like, what the hell's going on? So I've got these two decks here, and I was going to use these as clarifiers, because what I want to do is pull a conversation card, I guess that's what I'm saying. What I wanted to do was pull from the phrase deck so I could get, like, immediate words without having to divine them for each of the signs. So it doesn't really matter because I'm going to do all of them, but since it's Scorpio's birthday at this point, oh, I guess it started at the end of October. I'm like, why is it in the middle of the month? But yeah. Scorpio can go first. Okay, I'm feeling this orange card. So let's see Scorpio. It matches all this shit down here. Scorpio. It doesn't matter whose fault it was. Ooh, heartburn. Okay. Or heartburn. Doesn't matter whose fault it was. Interesting. Okay, I mean, you can blame somebody else for taking your shit. Or taking your position. You know, like, that was my job. Or, that was my person. You know, but there's this idea of free will, and it's like, what are you really doing? What's your sole purpose? So if you get out of this idea of, like, you did this to me in particular, like, how dare you, it'll free up that that messaging system here. So let me just... Oh, okay, I guess I'll get one of each of these to clarify. Again, because my thumb is busted. Okay. 9 of Cups and 3 of Cups. Alright, the root problem. This is the party all the time card. This is like too many cooks in the kitchen here. Or kind of like people gossiping. Like, is this upright or inverted? It's inverted. Okay, so 9 of Cups inverted again. Right? I'm upset because I feel like people are going to talk shit about me for not getting the stuff, the thing, the position. You know, like, this is making me look bad. It's embarrassing me in front of my friends. You know, somebody's gonna pay for this. But it's like, forget these people, like, you know, like, they're more worried about their own crap anyway. Alright. It's like, if you come off, like, whose fault it is, you'll be able to get back to the solution. Alright, so Sagittarius... Oh wait, yes, that was Scorpio. So now we're going to do Sagittarius, which I feel like it needs a brown card. I think there's only 2 brown cards in here, so let me get this one. Let me see if I can find any other one. Because I'm not sure well, maybe it needs both of them. Alright, I guess we'll just take both of these brown cards. Oh my god. No, just this one. Okay. Are they poisonous? I wish I had the other one. Alright, Sagittarius, what are you complaining about? Queen of Pentacles inverted. Oh, that's weird because this one is Sagittarius and Capricorn. Well, I don't want to take the top one. Where did I put the... Oh, I don't know where I put that six of... whatever the hell it was. Six of Swords. If I sound like I'm deranged, I actually do know what I'm doing. I'm just, you know, burned out. Okay, this one. Eight of Pentacles. That's so weird. 13 and then 8. 187. What's going on there? Some teams. Oh, Sagittarius has a distinct distrust of authority. Respect my authority. The management, oh, okay. This is like, I swear this next management in line doesn't know how to do the fucking work. And I also just heard, don't you know that they're toxic? This is like, oh, okay. This isn't really how I thought that the are they poisonous question was going to roll out. It's like, this kind of reminds me of what's going on with Twitter. Like, we're working hard over here, but this new manager is like so toxic. Like, is it going to poison the whole system? Sagittarius. Interesting. I wonder if, oh, and it's 8. It's the $8. Oh, that's hilarious. I wonder if a certain douche is a Sagittarius or not. Or, like, if the company is a Sagittarius. Or if a lot of the people that got fired were Sagittarius. Or hired. Were they no, they weren't fired in Sagittarius. He said, that's so weird. That's kind of funny. Alright, Sagittarius, you do you. But yeah, I mean, if your new boss is so terrible that the whole company is going to collapse, that's kind of a shit deal too. But it's sort of like you don't know until they're in there. Or you might know, but other people might not have said anything. And you're like, how can I be the only one thinking this? Like, somebody else has got to think of it. It's not just... It's more of a practicality for Sagittarius than it is of... Like, that shit. It's not just like, hey, that's mine. It's like... This isn't... This could be systemic. And again, that's just a template for what that energy does. There's other scenarios that could fit the same energy pattern. Right? Like when you watch a movie and you're like, oh my god, this reminds me of my life, but the actual scene has nothing to do with you. Right? That's why people identify with, like, Batman or... trying to think of a female character. You know, like, nobody's actually Pikachu and, like, dealing with Pikachu's problems. But they're like, I'm Pikachu. So the same scenario, it's like, this feels like my situation, even though it's not the exact one that you said. Alright, so a Capricorn, this card is looking at me. I'm, or we're, or something is heading in the right direction. Alright, so this is Capricorn energy here. And I'm not surprised because this Queen of Discs is looking out into the horizon. You know, the winds of change are drifting through the factory. What do we got here? Ace of Wands upright, right? Capricorn's feeling it. Oh, okay. Capricorn is hitting this energy. They're getting the downloads. Okay, so Scorpio is worried about self-image. Sagittarius is worried about like the entire operation, and Capricorn is like, oh, I just realized who I am inside. Or at least they're starting to. Eight of Swords inverted. This is my I want to break free card. Right? I'm not competing in this daily grind anymore because I've just discovered myself. Right? I know where I'm going. I don't have to compete with other people. I'm starting to get it. Right? They've Capricorn has gotten their download and can climb off of the Alright, I don't know where this cut out on me. So I was saying that Capricorn got the heading in the right direction, and this has Capricorn in this card, Sagittarius and Capricorn, and the Queen is looking out in the horizon. And this Ace of Wands is essentially like this card, right? So I said, and then I got this, Eight of Swords inverted, trapped in my own mental prison, right? I'm like, who the fuck's taking all my shit? Like, but if you change your perspective, then you do achieve that freedom, right? You're no longer bound up. So Capricorn is hitting this energy of I'm feeling myself. I'm starting to get an idea of who I am. It's becoming clearer. So Capricorn is there. Scorpio is like, who the fuck is taking my stuff? And Sagittarius is like this is like systemic. So I don't know how much of that came off on the last piece of video because I forgot to switch to another segment before I kept talking. But I was gonna say I pulled the Hangman card out of the Thoth deck because like Sagittarius and Scorpio are still waiting for their download, even though Capricorn's sitting over here. So they're still in this Hanged Man energy, waiting for their message to come in. Okay. I'm gonna mess up the reading. I'm just gonna leave it on the deck. Alright, so let me see where Aquarius is at here. I'm gonna have to timestamp this too. Shit, I'm gonna have to leave a note because I will forget. Because I have no brain right now. Timestamps. It helps if I actually use the correct letters when I write, but, you know. It's mostly like a... Is it a mnemonic device if you write stuff down to remember things? Because the act of writing it helps your brain program it in, even if you can't read your own handwriting. I think it's a purple card, but I don't think it's this one. I think it's this one. Hang on, let me see. Let me see which one of these feels like... Okay, I guess this one. I don't know what's written on these, because I don't... I have other stuff jammed in my brain. Alright, Aquarius. Oh, that's weird, because I think the... maybe it's on the light purple. The Aquarius little foldy tag is made out of this same cardstock as this purple, I think. There's a light purple too, but I think it's this color for the air signs. Aquarius. Digging the cave to the underground to address your terrors. Okay, that's addressing this right here. Wait. Oh, I just heard this, is it Loose Change? Maybe that's who sings it. It's like money is the root of all evil. I think I did it wrong. Anyway, it's directly addressing the unhappiness. And notice I said this is, when this is inverted, it's going deeper. But I do see this 9 inverted because it looks like the 6 is being related. So I am going deeper into what my unhappiness is. I'm following the flow of the water. Where did it go? Where did it come from? Alright, so let's see what else Aquarius is doing. Two of Swords inverted. Two of Swords is like a low vibration of the High Priestess. It's Piscean energy for me. And this is doubling down in this I can't see where I'm not getting any messages. This is I can't get any messages, but it's not Hanged Man energy. It's a feminine energy with the radio tower shut down. It's taking this, there's no power. Like it's like I feel powerless because I'm in terror and now I'm not getting any messages. I've completely shut down. I'm having a panic attack. I can't see any perspective other than basically. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. I was trying to get like a yell sound without being too yelly. Here we go, this one. The Queen of Pentacles again. God damn it, what the hell, man? Yeah, you can't think of any other perspective because you're caught in this panic loop of like, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about this. But the Aquarius wants to be the Queen of Pentacles. Oh, okay. Aquarius is like, oh my god, what if I don't get the job? Like, my life is over. I'm terrified of not getting it. So they're not even... Aquarius isn't really concerned of... Oh... Like... I think it's Get Back. It's one of those, like, late songs in it. Like, live performance or Let It Be sessions or whatever. But it was, at the end of some recording, John was like, I'd like to say thank you on behalf of the group and myself. I think it's like that. On behalf of the group and ourselves, and I hope we pass the audition. Aquarius is terrified that they're not going to pass the audition. Ooh. Okay. Like, what if I forget my lines? They're not gonna, like, what if they don't pick me? Like, I'm trying to pretend like I'm cool, but I'm freaking out inside. Alright. Aquarius, with the overthinking and the terror spiral. So that's something to be working on. This is all stuff to be working on with this 11/11 portal. Alright, so Aquarius. So I need Pisces next. Which apparently is going to be one of these light blue cards, but I don't know which one. Why? That's weird that they're giving me colors. I don't know who they are, but they are. Y'all are giving me colors. Pisces. That's not the right color. Okay, I guess I'm doing the mint green then. Okay, all three of those for Pisces. There's a lot on their mind. Hospital color here. Alright. Similar to the other one. It does go in the middle. Oh, alright. I'll do it in numerical order, even though that has nothing to do with anything. Okay, so Pisces. I'm starting... Oh, I have 11 minutes left there when I look. I'm starting to gain some insight. Having it easy is not a blessing. It's a lack of opportunity for maturity. And I need healing and protection, so I'm going to get something like green garnet or androdite. protection, healing, meditation. This is something, I mean, when we see pentacles inverted, it can be I'm ill. I'm physically ill. When it's upright, it's like I'm feeling okay. This sun in Capricorn here, it might not just be like, oh, there's a power outage. It's like I'm like now I have fibromyalgia. You know, like I'm physically ill. My body is like, you need to stop, or I will stop you. And this is like I'm not well either. Like I'm stressed out. So healing and meditation is part of the pentacles. It's resources, it's energy. My body is physically healing because of like the exhaustion is, my adrenal glands are burnt out, and it like my body won't do anything until I let them replenish themselves, which is like resting, meditation, and that kind of stuff. So if you need, you know, oh, look at this, I brought in these green stones. Huh, I don't know what these are. This might be fluorite, and I don't know what the fuck that is. So just pretend that those are the green stones for healing. And that would go into the heart chakra, which is right, apparently I put on the cups there. Heart chakra is the cups. That's the emotional waters. And cups can also be the psychic waters, right? So if you're blocked off, you're not getting any messages. But typically messages are swords. But because it's perception. But and like the like wires of receiving, but the like the waves of the message itself is actually heart chakra, right? Heart chakra pulls in the messages, and the throat chakra interprets them. Let's put it that way. It's decoding. So Pisces is at this... Oh, Pisces. I'm surprised Pisces didn't get that Two of Swords, and oh, maybe they'll get something else like that. Let me clarify. I was going to say Pisces should have gotten that Two of Swords inverted, because that's that High Priestess energy, right? It's like I'm not able to decode the messages. The radio tower is down, but I'm feeling some kind of way. And then, like I said, Hanged Man energy. These are artificial Piscean energies, and that's coming in here. Okay, so we have the Ace of Pentacles. Wow, that's kind of a squashed... It's probably a perfect square, but it looks squashed on the card. Ace of Pentacles, upright. Like I'm trying to manifest. Pisces is trying to get in the flow of physical manifestation, which would, you know, it would help you get there by resting. So they're sort of getting the idea, even though they're not able to like pinpoint like the nuances of what the message is. Ow, my thumb, that fucking hurts. Let me try it with the left hand. Definitely not as skilled with the left hand. Okay, this is the one. The Ten of Swords. Stick a fork in me, I'm done. Pisces is taking a nap because they are... Right, I need some acupuncture. I'm gonna go, right, protection healing. Like, help me. Like, I'm stressed out. I need to relax so that I can have enough resources to manifest. Right? Ten of Swords is the Sun in Gemini. Gemini is the twins, and again, with people say 11 is the twin flame number. We're not worried about that here. We're just with this idea of the duality and the pairedness of 11. Now we have a 10 here and a 10 here. So it's sort of dealing with this burden. I'm like literally stick a fork in me, I'm done. And Pisces is coming through with 10 and 1, which is 11 again. All right. So, yeah. All right. So Pisces is receiving message, still working on decoding it. So we're getting through here, and we're starting to move in the other direction, but we know that we need some rest. Oh, dream time. Okay, so Pisces is sort of dreaming their world into being. They're trying to manifest through their dreams and gain clarity through their subconscious, as they would do. As you would do. Alright, so Aries. Apparently Aries needs to be an orange card too. Oh. Don't second guess it. What do I need though? Oh, sneaky. I don't know if I need one of each. Let me see. I'm not sure. I don't think I need all of those cards. Okay, let me just take this one. Aries, grounding of the heart center. Was I just talking about that? I was just talking about that with somebody. It might have been Pisces. I feel like it was Aquarius though. Anyway, grounding of the heart center. We're dealing with the cups. So we have I was gonna say, I think if I put timestamps on it, then people will skip some of it, so I have to explain it over again. So the heart chakra does the water, the emotions, but also brings in the messages, the waveforms, the psychic waters, the like, it's coming, like the messages are like the airwaves. There we go. Right, the I Love Lucy out beyond the solar system, that kind of thing. But then, like, the interpretation, the understanding of it is coming from Swords energy. So here we're grounding in the heart center to try to actually receive messages, which is what's happening here and here in particular. Right, or I'm dealing directly with the unhappiness. So that's what Aries is doing. We do have a lot of fire energy here as well. So, in that. Oh, sorry, I'm tired. Okay, so we have upright. 8 of Swords upright. Alright, who had... Oh, Capricorn had 8 of Swords inverted. So Aries isn't quite breaking out of this, like, trapped in a situation. They're still kind of in it. Death cycle. Oh, it's an ego death. The ego is trying to tell Aries that they're stuck. I'm trapped. But that's sort of a trick of the mind. I'm trying to say trompe-l'oeil, but that's a trick of the eye. But it's kind of like that. Your ego is creating illusions. It's telling you that you're behind bars and you can't get out. You know, because you're feeling a bit down and you're tired. And the death cycle it does go back into that womb and tomb thing I mentioned earlier, but it's, you know, I need to let, it's like I need to let this crop die. You know, what am I growing in here? I'm growing like, I'm growing like sour onions to snack on, and it's making me feel sick. So I'm going to let this crop die, and then I'm going to grow something sweeter in better soil. I need to let something lie fallow for a season so that I can grow it better. And this is and that's like in terms of literally the ground. I'm tending to the ground. I'm giving it time to replenish nutrients. That's sort of a physical description of what you do with the heart center. So you sort of let Aries is trying to have an ego death. They're like, how dare someone took my job? God damn it, what the fuck? And, you know, because it's the ego that takes that stand. That's like, how dare they? But the grinding, allowing that ego death will be like, well, that doesn't mean that I have no value. It means that I'm going to trust myself and listen to the flutteries in my heart to tell me what I'm going to be doing with my life. So that's where Aries is at. Aries is taking an ego death in this cycle. Okay. And trying to grow outside of restriction. So it's a little bit like Aries is shedding their skin. And in order to do that, they have to become temporarily vulnerable. See, we're working the metaphors there. Alright, so Aries, and I hope I don't skip anybody. I have to double check this after. I should have started writing them down. God damn it. Alright. Make a checklist so I can check stuff off. Okay, so I started Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, I did Aquarius, I did Pisces, and I did Aries. So then I need Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, and Libra. I think that's everybody. Yeah, okay. Usually I forget somebody, but I got them. Okay, so now I know that I'm doing Taurus, which I feel like is going to be a green card. Oh, a dark green one. Okay, here we go. Taurus. Buy one, get one free. Well, that's kind of weird. Alright, what the hell does Taurus mean? Oh, these bitches are a dime a dozen. Okay. Like the sort of shiny nepotism, fancy kind of a thing. I just heard like charisma, but it's not like they have charisma. It's like, again, it's just like they're shiny. Artificially shiny. Okay, so we have King of Pentacles inverted, but we already knew that because we're, oh, this is tyrannical. aggressive shopping ads, kind of. Alright, what else do you mean? What else do you mean, Taurus? Whatever could you mean? I also just heard, like, what's your boggle? Ow. They're giving me low vibration hanged man, the 4 of swords. I am taking a nap. So you think taking a dirt nap. So 14. Oh, King of Pentacles. Okay, what's his energy? Aries in Taurus, but inverted. This is like mismanagement. Oh. This is like, this is mismanaged so badly. Like, why would I want to double down on it? Like, I can't deal with it, like, twice the crap. I need to lie down and take a nap. It's a little bit evasive, but it's sort of like I just want to hibernate. But Taurus is sort of taking the right action. It's like it's sort of like I didn't get the gig. I need to lie down. I think Taurus actually has the right idea. But again, there's this like idea of like, you know, well, this is awful. I don't, like, why would I want a second one for free? You know, just because I already paid for it doesn't mean I want to do it again. You know? Like, if you got one burning iron shoe, why would you want to get another one for free? Like, no, the one is plenty. Please, no. A little bit of a Snow White reference there, because in the original story, the wicked stepmother queen had to dance to death at the prince and Snow White's wedding in a pair of hot iron shoes. So yeah, Taurus is taking a nap because they can't even right now. But taking a nap and resting and waiting for the downloads is in line with this. So we're at a 4 and we're coming back up from these negative 12s. So good on you, Taurus. All right, what am I got? Oh. Alright, Gemini. It's Gemini. I feel like Gemini is also going to be purple, but maybe I don't like the idea of I feel like there's a blue card in the middle that's looking at me. I think it's this one. It's behind a purple card, so that makes sense. Alright, so Gemini. Education of tradition of the past and the realities of the present. I don't want to take a dig at Gemini because it's not really fair. It's like we've always done it this way. And the reality is they're still trying to do it this way. You know, it's like, well, they always pass it on to the next person in the family. Like, why do you think you were going to get the promotion? It's like, you didn't bend over enough during the interview. Alright, so I have the Hermit and it came out sideways. This is 9. Ooh, is that Mercurial? Wait a minute. No, it can't be. It could be. Earth, it's Virgo energy. Yeah, so Gemini and Virgo are both ruled by Mercury. So we have Mercurial energy here in the challenge position with a number 9. I feel like this is an emergency. Like a 911 because we're dealing with 11s. So we have 9. It also feels like the inner child. Right? The tradition of the past. What happened when you were a child. But the present reality is that you're not the child that you were. Right? Like, I'm not going to be bossed around. Like, you can't do this to me. And tell me that, you know, just because. It's not, it's like a, it seems to me that Gemini is recovering from a because I say so situation. Why? Because I said so. And I'm like, wait a minute. Not fair. Three of Wands, upright. Which makes sense, because the Hermit is so that his light is upright. This is like, I'm starting to see something. But it is. It's I'm going inside to educate myself about what's really going on here. And I'm starting to be able to see where the future will lead me. So it looks very much like Gemini is having a very, like an inner child breakthrough. Where they're sort of hitting universal timing and being able to see the past, the present, and some of the future at the same time. We're not quite done with the Hermit energy, but I do have this idea of 9 and 3 again. It's like oh, now the battery's gonna die. It's like Gemini's root issue is insecurity of the future. Like, oh, I'm in poverty. Like, what's going to happen to me in 2 months? Or, you know, am I going to get fired if I don't... Like, what's going to happen to me if I don't do this, thus and such? It's not necessarily an energy of lack. It's an energy of not knowing what's going to happen. You know, like, it's like a fear of the unknown. It might come off of this idea of like everything has to be controlled and measured and planned out. You know, you have to go to regular school, and in the morning you have to train for your sports, and then you have to go to, you know, all these clubs in the summer, and in the evening you're with the diplomats, and and then you have these other things to do, and then you can sleep, and then you have to do it all over again. It's like everything planned, and then when things aren't planned anymore, it's like, oh my god, what's happening? Like, I just graduated from college, now what do I do? That kind of thing. So Gemini is working on this idea of the unknown, basically. It's like, I fear the future because you said so. And it's like, if the answer to every question is because I said so, then you don't understand how the world works. And you don't know what the next step in something is. Because you haven't learned a logical thought process to understand what's happening around you. So that's what Gemini is working on. It's kind of it's an unusual aspect to inner child work that I don't think I've come across in a reading before. You know, like it seems like a lot of it's the same, but the way that it's presenting is different than what I have. Okay. I have... No, we're doing Cancer. I don't know what I was going to say. I had to change the battery, and luckily, the other one was charged. Cancer. Okay. Oh, just cut the scam with them. Alright, Cancer. You're not seeing something or the bigger picture. Probably all up in your feelings. Okay. So this looks like, this 101 looks kind of like the absolute value of 0. But it also reminds me of those like little dudes that you could make with the slashes. The, sort of like a, oh no, Mr. Bill. Cancer is freaking out. Alright, what's Cancer not dealing with well here? Oh my god. The whole deck, huh? Cancer is playing 52 pickup with their feelings. Okay, so we have the Queen of Cups. Cancer in their feels, but upright. Interesting. Cancer getting too many messages, so they're swamped by the details. Like, information overload, so that I'm missing something important because I've got a lot going on. All of the feels, all of the downloads, but not necessarily interpreting what the psychic messages are or what they mean. The Emperor inverted. Aries energy inverted. Emperor inverted is a little bit like villain energy, but it's also like, it's kind of like spoiled brat energy. This looks a little bit like mom is still being nice to you even though you're a little hellion, right? Like somebody's crotch goblin is out of water. You know, like those little kids that like run around screaming in restaurants or doctors' office waiting rooms, and the parents just like ignore it, or they're just like, oh, it's like Stillwell Angel in A League of Their Own. The horrible bratty little child, and the mom is just like, come on now, sweetie, stop that. Sort of like tunnel vision. Like, isn't my little precious angel cute? It's like, no. And your kid is ugly too. That's mean. But yeah, it's I mean, it's like overly patient. So it's a little bit like walking on eggshells. So intent on maintaining balance that I'm not seeing everything that's going on. I feel like I need to clarify the Emperor a little bit. I didn't want to get like a million cards, but alright, I need to get this card on the top. Looks promising. Let's see what's the Emperor here. A rogue figure outside of society who may look different. Oh. Well, a little hellion would be a rogue. But that layer makes me think of someone who's a scapegoat. Like, someone is perfect. I mean, it's like someone is perfect no matter what they do, but you get to be the scapegoat. But what is... I want to know what Cancer's not seeing. I mean, it's like I can't see it because they can't see it. What's behind the curtain for Cancer, though? King of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles. And the Moon inverted. Secrets. I mean, someone's building a kingdom, but there's a secret that's gonna be dumped. Okay. So there's like a whole like cinematic universe built around whatever the lie is, whatever the secret is, right? The secret is that, you know, like, you're being promoted, but you're full of shit, and Cancer gets to be the scapegoat. And there's sort of a turning point here. Like, what's the foundation of this castle that's... What's the house... Like, what's underneath the house that Jack built? And it's like Cancer is having to play Sherlock Holmes here to find out, you know, in what universe this makes any goddamn sense. It's like when Batman becomes the villain in the movie series. Because of whatever, but it's the setup. But for Cancer, the fake narrative of them, of their scapegoatness, is coming out. So, maybe it's not Cancer that's not seeing the bigger picture. Maybe it's been the other people. And Cancer's been put into the rogue figure. That would make more sense with the other cards. Why is Cancer all up in the drama? Like, this time... Okay. Cancer's drama is usually internal in their heart center. But in this case, whatever's going on in their particular situation, Cancer knows what's up emotionally. It's like Cancer's emotional expectations in this situation are reasonable. The drama is happening externally, which is probably confusing Cancer because they're not used to that. They're like, am I making this up? Like, I'm pretty sure that I'm not mental and that this is bullshit. That's what Cancer is going through. But it looks like the illumination is coming out and that the secret that Cancer is not the psycho in the situation is about to be revealed. Or is coming out from this 1111 portal. Dark and the light balancing. Justice. Justice is off in 11. So Cancer is going to get justice here. Okay, that was a lot. But apparently there was a conspiracy that needed to be unraveled. Alright, Cancer. I have Cancer ascendant, so that'd be good news for me, because this is some bullshit. Alright, so Leo. Oh, you know what? I think it was, 11/11 or 11/12 was Leonardo DiCaprio's birthday. So he's probably getting that portal pretty goddamn hard. Alright, so for our Leos here, we have Leo energy and the sun here. And wait, no, that was Ten of Swords. That was somebody else's reading. We have Leo energy here. We have a sun here. We have a sun here. Queen of Wands holds sun energy as well. In general, what time is it? Okay. Leo. Union of opposites, the lovers. Okay, so Leo is coming in and saying this is a twin flame situation with 11/11. Although not necessarily, because it is the year of the Lover's card. 2 and 2 and 2. 2022. But if we're talking about union of opposites, we're talking about the 1 and the 1. So even if it might not be twin flame necessarily, it's hitting that twin energy. 11 being, you know, a twin number. Because there's 2 1s. Especially with 22, right? 11, 11, 22. We're dealing with pairs. And my head is giving me an image of a pair. Okay, that actually flipped out. I'm going to take this kind of at an angle here. Not quite inverted. The Star card. I haven't completely lost hope, saith Leo. Okay. An outpouring. Okay. Six of Wands is Leo energy. Jupiter and Leo, is that right? Jupiter and Leo. It's Jupiter and Pisces. The Nine of... Oh, okay. So this Six of Wands is answering the Six of Cups. So Jupiter in Leo, Jupiter in Pisces inverted. Opposite of Pisces. Pisces. Opposite. The opposite sign of Pisces is Virgo. I'm just trying to get a better idea of what that means. I mean, this is a victory card. Like, look at me, I'm fancy. Everybody's talking about me. But in my head, I just heard everybody's talking at me. Only echo to my man. Is that Nielsen? I feel like that's wrong. Maybe, no, I think it is Nielsen. A union of opposites, but why is this? Oh, I haven't entirely lost hope yet. Why does this feel like somebody famous? That's weird. Everybody's talking at me, but they don't hear a word I say. Only the echoes of my mind. Nobody's listening to... Leo is like, nobody's actually listening to me. Like, Leo... Leo is, like, not super chuffed to be put on a pedestal here. That's kind of weird. I need a little bit more... Why? I feel like this is imbalanced because these are going to be longer than some of the other ones. Explain the Star card better. The princess was at first frightened to see a lion. Are you kidding me? Princess was at first frightened. Oh, my stars aren't aligned. It's giving me The Stars Are Out Tonight by David Bowie. I always forget. I haven't had the Star card in a while. The stars aren't aligned. Leo energy is the lion. Like, who's that? They're fancy. Like, oh, you scared me. Because you were, like, too much. Although, I mean, if the princess is scared of the lions because she's afraid that the lion's gonna eat her. Like, I thought you were gonna maul me to death. So is Leo is notorious for malice, according to the princess, but not giving up hope entirely that there can be a union. This does go back into the... I mean, Cancer had somebody talking shit about them and building up this story. I don't think... somebody else might have had a scapegoat story too, but I mean, if somebody's going to take a position that you wanted when you thought you were going to get it, I mean, maybe they did talk some shit about you. But this is definitely, it's you know, you scared me at first, but now I realize that you're kind of a softie. It's and it's not necessarily made me fear, because it could go into anxiety because of that artificial Nine of Swords energy. It's coming in like seeing you with somebody else that looked fancier than me stressed me out, and I had to run away because it made me upset. And Leo's like, but what? And it looks like whatever the issue is, the off timing, right? Like, you're not supposed to see me when I still have my fangs in. Like, let me change out of my costume. You know, like, you're not supposed to see me like this. Whether, you know, whatever way that might be, you know, like you weren't supposed to see me trouncing around town. You weren't supposed to see me painting the town red, right? And that could be taken violently, but it's also this idea of, you know, Leo taking the position of, you know, picking up whatever they can get around town, and then whoever the princess is like super stressed out because it's like, that was my person. Like, what the hell? Like, what am I, chopped liver? This isn't fair. Like, I need to go hang upside down on a tree for I was gonna say 8 months, but it seems like a couple of years. So whatever's going on between Leo and their person, and it could be flipped. Leo could be the one who's like taking all my shit. It's like, why is everyone always taking my shit? You know, Leo could be in the disadvantage and not being the one who's, you know, ladies man, man's man about town. It reminds me of Down with Love quite a bit, actually. But whoever is in the princess position, which is not actually the same as the princess in this other spread. The princess in this spread is actually more like the Prince of Cups. But yeah, so that's what's going on with Leo. Trying to heal, like, people that met before it was the right time and got it fucked up. Alright, so we did Virgo. I think it's actually this one. Sorry, I'm getting sniffly. Virgo. We're almost done here. I don't want to sell out. I'm a Toys R Us kid. So I'll take the bent one. I don't want to learn which one it is, though, because then it'll mess me up. 6 of Cups inverted. The Sun in Scorpio, and it's coming in inverted. This is like, I'm no longer romanticizing my childhood. That's sort of the standard concept, at least for me, when it's inverted. I don't want to sell out. And it's weird because I said I'm a Toys R Us kid. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. But here it's I don't want to sell out. Just it's like got a commercial jingle, but we're not going to sell out here. Oh, I don't want to sell out. I don't want it to close. Right? Because once the store sells out, they're closing the whole franchise. I hope it never ends. So Virgo is having this inner child thing. Like, I don't want to come in and eat dinner. I want to keep playing. I don't like peas anyway. This is gross. We generally think I don't want to sell out. I don't want to give up my authenticity. It's like, who was I when I was a little kid? Like, I feel like my soul identity has been fractured. Oh. Four of Swords. Oh, come on. Upright. Okay, someone else got Four of Swords, and I don't remember who it was. It was from this deck, though. Might have been Taurus. It might have been Taurus. Which is weird, because it's also an earth sign. Why are the earth signs doing so well with this energy? Maybe because they've got the Queen of Discs as the dispenser of rewards here. Because Virgo is actually taking a rest. They're in a meditation. It's a low vibration of the Hanged Man, the Four of Swords. Right? I'm tired. I've done battle and I need to take a break and meditate and think about it. 6 and 4 is 10. Do I want a clarifier? I think I do want a clarifier. Let me get one more of these. I can't. Oh, there's not some more. Oh, okay, this one. This is the one we wanted. I'd forgotten how beautiful it is, life is, or you are. Okay. Yeah, this is like... Virgo is like stuck on the corporate wheel. Be it like I'm being sold as a product. And this is not who I really am. And I need to get in touch with myself. You know, I'm not this... I'm like jaded now. I'm not this idealistic creature I was. You know, I'm no longer naive. I can't be manipulated. And I need to regroup now that I've overcome this sort of ego trap of stick with us, kid, we'll make you a star. You know, like come over here, kid, like we'll tell you what's best for you. You keep your nose to the grindstone and you'll get somewhere in this company. And you're like, wait a goddamn second. Did I just sell my soul for upper management? Like, what the fuck? So that's where Virgo is at. I think that's pretty short and sweet, so, you know. This record company told me who I am and made me wear these clothes and do these songs, and none of this is me. What the hell? You know, that kind of stuff. So that's what Virgo is getting out of this. They're about to come into their own energy, but they realize they know, like, what the hell they don't want. Whereas Capricorn was getting into their self-confidence, so a little bit further along, and Taurus also, like, I need to take a nap and figure out my stuff. Virgo coming from a little bit more of an inner child space. Alright, so let's look at Libra. Libra. Okay, I guess Libra is going to be one of these sort of golden cards, but I don't know if it's necessarily that one. I just saw it. Here we go. Golden Eye. Tina Turner. Alright. So what am I doing? Libra. Multiple frequencies of the Empress/High Priestess. High vibe, low vibe, and pseudonyms. Okay. This is Libra. Oh, of course, Libra with the balance. Libra is, in a lot of decks, is number 11, which you're also dealing with. The High Priestess is a 2. That's like the 1 and 1 put together. And I like to think of the High Priestess as being a level above Justice. You know, you have Minor Arcana and then Major Arcana, and then I feel like if you knock it up another energy level and hit the High Priestess again, that that's the one that I feel like it represented in the 2. Which kind of doesn't actually make sense, but that's how I see it. High Priestess, so I see 2 of Swords, Queen of Swords, Justice, and then the High Priestess as a progression of the frequencies. And Empress, you could say, would be like, it could be like 3 of Cups, 3 of Pentacles, and then it's like 9, and then like Princess, Queen, and then Empress. So there's a progression there. But the Empress holds all of the kingdoms, so it would be that progression in all of the kingdoms, right? The 3, the Page, the Queen, and then... Or just the 3, the 9, and then the Queen. Whatever. I mean, the Empress is kind of on that 3-6-9 track. But the Empress is number 3. And when I see the Empress and the High Priestess together, it gives me 5, because I'm adding the 3 and the 2 together, and that's the Hierophant, which is actually like Venus and Taurus energy, which for me is the spirituality and the material coming together. So it's happening on a different octaves of the same kind of energy. That was a long one. A long Othello. Okay, so Libra energy. Libra is trying to work multiple dimensions of this energy, which we see because we got Princess, we got Queen, we got Queen. So let's see. It's kind of a weird concept to start out with because it's not a particular problem. Okay, I guess I'm taking... Alright, I'm supposed to really have this many cards from here. 6 of Wands inverted, which is weird because I had it upright for Leo. This Victory card inverted seems like failure, but maybe not. Page of Pentacles. Okay. So this would be like Princess of the Pentacles, trying to work up to the Empress. And then the 2 of Cups in the challenge position. Let me get one from here. 2 of Cups is I mean, you see the Roman numeral 11. So it's like a low vibration of the Lovers. And we have a number 6 over here. So the Jack of Wands inverted. So that could be the Page or the Knight, but here it's going to be the Jack. So if the Jack of Wands inverted, alright, with the 6 of Wands inverted, so that's 11, 11, 2, and 6. Why though? What's going on? I'm like, it's like a code switching, or like a light, like switching circuits between different factors. Because for me, the Empress is more earthy, but that's just because Venus relates to Taurus and the Empress, and Taurus is earth energy, but Libra is also ruled by Venus, is it not? hell am I? See, this is what happens when I forget how to do things for no reason. It takes me longer to figure it out. Libra. Yeah, Libra is also Venus. Okay, that's why the fuck she's in there. The Empress is Venus. And even though I see the High Priestess in that sort of justice progression, you know, like if justice is underneath her, she'd be like the appellate court judges or something. The county judge or whatever. So Libra showing up in the own way. What is the Two of Cups? Venus in Cancer. So Libra here. That's Jupiter in Leo, but it's inverted, which gives moon energy, which is technically the High Priestess, even though she should be Pisces. And I said that was a Page of Wands. I've given Uranus energy. Should be kind of like the Fool. This is the last one for this, and I'm just trying to figure out what's going on without getting like a million. I'm gonna have to get another word card here. Sacrifices, paying of karmic debt with Neptune. 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. Okay. So Neptune energy goes back into how I see the High Priestess and these inverted princes, which would be knights. I feel like that actually should be a knight instead of a prince, though. If I have the Knight of Wands inverted, what's that? Scorpio and Sagittarius. That doesn't really help me either. This, though, it's like... Oh, sacrifices is I lost. Page of Pentacles here with the coin to pay off the karmic debt. Which seems like for Libra is a stress situation. It seems like it's about a relationship too. With this Two of Cups. And this is in the challenge position, right? I'm being challenged to pay off karmic debt from a situationship. Now, it could be business relationship. We see that we have people that are in adversarial. Like, I'm not gonna play nice with you, but I need to pay off this karmic debt of being upset about losing something. Like, I have to sacrifice this thing that I've been trying to win so that I can move on to greener pastures. You know, it's like I could double down on my energy and it would just dig me into a deeper hole. So I better, you know, I need to pay off this credit card instead of charging more shit to it. But it's like a karmic credit card. It could be real. You know, somebody screwed me over. You know, because you can't bribe the universe with cash money. You know, it's like a... What is it in Catholicism? The indulgence, some kind of... Is it plenary indulgence? I feel like... I remember that phrase from Dogma, but I don't know if it's the right definition. But they used to, you know, like, they have these royals, you know, 500-600 years ago, and they'd marry their cousin because they wanted to marry another royal, and the Catholic Church would be like, hey, that's a big no-no, but God will forgive you if you build us a chapel. So they'd build the chapel, and then the Catholic Church would be like, okay, well, you can marry your cousin now and we'll make you king. Cool beans. But you can't really, that's just stupid. That doesn't actually work like that. It was just a money racket, really. But you can't literally pay off karmic debt with cash money, because that doesn't work. So Libra is working on paying off karmic debt. 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. Because whoever soured their milk here, by finishing their karmic contract with them, they don't have to deal with that problem again. Right? I'm crossing it off my list. I'm filling up the hole and, learning not to step on it anymore. This relationship card, though, it's a little bit like I'm not drinking this poison again. I don't want to have to deal with this kind of relationship again. I've learned my lesson. I'm not getting it necessarily as like, oh, now that I've fixed my bullshit, I can go after somebody. That's not how I'm seeing this. It's like some kind of toxic interaction with other people, and I dug it deeper and deeper, or I'm the one who instigated it, and I need to balance it out by getting into this balance between this sort of pure balance between the material world and the spiritual world, right? Because you're not very balanced if you're trying to pay off spirituality with cash, right? You can't literally pay off karma with a gold coin. So we see that Libra is actually trying to do that, right? I'm not going to be like I can't go through life and only deal with things that I see and with the touch and taste, and it can Pixar, it didn't happen, because the situation, it's like if you did everything physically right, you crossed your T's and dotted your I's, and you didn't skip any boxes, and you did the work you were supposed to, and you went up the chain of command, and everything was hunky-dory, and then someone else slipped in there all like, hey, this is where I live now. And you're like, what the hell? It's, then it becomes, well, adhering to the physical world didn't work. What the hell's going on? And I think this is a point where Libra sort of, gets to that sort of Hierophant state of turning. It's not necessarily turning inward or outward, it's turning in both directions at the same time, which is something they want to do anyway. But it's not hemming and hawing, it's saying it's not one or the other. It's it's like if I'm not picking out an outfit, I don't have to pick a pair of shoes. It's like, is it these or these? Oh, It's not one or the other, which is what Libra gets stuck on. It's yes and, not yes or. And I think this is something that they're starting to understand more about how the world works around them, and how to interact with other people without creating the same kind of karmic hole that you've just learned how to pay off. Okay, so that's what's going on with Libra. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Check out my playlists tab and stay groovy, and we'll see you later. You should probably get into my link tree. Check out my Etsy. I feel like I've got like 20 things on sale through Black Friday. And then I got those new stickers, holographic stickers with my kitty logo. You know, just to decorate stuff, and also my logo, which is me. I'm gonna have more stuff too, and also if you go, I don't think I put it in Linktree yet, but I put the on Threadless. I put the my mirrored rainbow T-Rex mug, which is got kind of a vibe like this, and those prints on Fine Art America. I think I put Fine Art America in the link tree, but I didn't put the Threadless. But I put links to the Threadless mug on my social media, which you can get to from my link tree. So those are all things that are happening. If you want to get a personal reading, the PDF of what things that you can order is in my link tree, and that's PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo, and then I will email you an unlisted video URL to your preferred email. They start at $9. Most of them are in like the 40 to 60 kind of range, and then you can get charms and or tiles added. You can buy charms in my Etsy shop. You can buy my chapbook packs, which is like getting a deck of a little packet of oracle cards, right? Just like throwing down a few cards. I think that's it. I don't think I'm going to put an ad on this video because I need to make new ones. Maybe I'll stick a slide in, you know, throw a few slides up over me talking and moving shit around. I don't think I'm going to put the outro because I need to make a new outro. So I guess I'll just stick my little my logo on to close out the video, and we'll call it a day. Alright, peace out.